Hello, this is Hot Indonesia, and welcome to all of you watching us in Hawaii. I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta. Here's this week's HI Hotlist. VEXING vaccine. Non-Indonesians can now get their shots. Why is the total number still so low? Losing FaceTime. Facebook banned Donald Trump. Do we have candidates for that dishonor? And K-pop crazy. Was this frenzy true BTS love or shrewd retail marketing? Here are my co-hosts. Sandrina Malakiano is Deputy CEO of Polmark Indonesia from her home in South Tangerang, and Millie Lukito, CEO of the Mobiliari Group from her home in Jakarta. Here's hot topic number one, VEXING vaccine. Non-Indonesians are finally allowed to get COVID-19 vaccination shots. As of June 9th, the requirements are a resident ID number, being an educator, over 60 years old, or living in a high-risk zone. People like me should be boosting the total number of vaccinations given, but it remains relatively low with only 21 million shots given, or 8% of the population. Compare that to the U.S. with more than 60% with at least one shot. Now, the president this week, as you all know, set a target of 7.5 million vaccinations in Jakarta alone by August. Sandrina, what's the problem?
First of all, the main problem we have is that we have been too dependent, Dalton, on vaccine producers. When the number of vaccines that we receive from producing countries are very limited, then practically we can't do anything. From the vaccine producing countries' point of view, they too are facing production shortages or capacity limitations because they also need the vaccines for domestic use for their own people. At the same time, there's this very high global demand, all happening at the same time, simultaneously. Aside from that, in Indonesia, we still face challenges in the vaccines distribution aspects. The authority of vaccine distribution is so centralistic. It's in the hands of Indonesia's health minister.
But Sanjina, wait, to your first point, are you saying that we have a shortage? I haven't seen any headlines saying Indonesia has a shortage of vaccines, that's why we're waiting.
That's one issue, shortage, if it's compared to the number of population that needs to be vaccinated. Because, for example, Bali will be reopened in July if there's a minimum of 70% of the Balinese population already vaccinated. That's what is going to be set as the green light to open Bali. But another issue is that now they have already they given the supply of the vaccine, but the people don't want to be vaccinated due to lack of policy marketing.
And that's the issue. Yeah, it's more than a shortage of vaccines, because I've heard also that they've had to push people to get the AstraZeneca vaccine because the expiration date is coming up and they want to use it before they have to lose it. So my point is, I think it also is the attitude of people. You know, I know people that more people than I should know that are resisting getting vaccinated, and the reasons are like, oh, you know, I'm waiting for the blank vaccine instead of the one we have, or I'm afraid of the side effects. Millie, what do you say to those people?
No, but Sandrina was right in saying there was a shortage of vaccines arriving in Indonesia due to some errors, human errors maybe in the previous health ministry.
Okay, let's say there's a shortage, but then what about the people who have attitude problems?
Yes, and then plus the attitude problem of people, especially 60 and above. You know, with the being distrust, there is distrust, and they're afraid of side effects, especially now it's AstraZeneca. So yeah, all of those combinations contribute to the slow moving, in a way, of vaccination.
Well, I would say to them, hey, you have to believe in the science. I mean, when we were told to get German measles shots or smallpox shots, I don't think there was this much resistance.
It's a different case, Dalton. I mean, those vaccines have gone through like years and years.
No. Well, I'm talking about when I was young and when it first came out.
This one, I mean, it's still an ongoing process.
I understand, but if you wait too long, then you might be susceptible to catching the virus or spreading it to others. So I wish people would trust a little more and not say to me, I don't believe in vaccinations for the worst part, or I'm not sure yet because time is passing and people are getting sick.
We need a positive way of seeing things. No matter how small the protection you might get or how low the efficacy of each vaccine, still it gives you some sort of protection, right? So
sure, and then vaccinating the population is directly tied to, as you mentioned, reopening the economy, and will allow more of us to travel more freely in the future, right? With vaccination passports and all that. Aren't those good reasons enough?
Plus a different level of educations, of course. The way they see things, the way they judge, the way they analyze things are different in different levels of the population.
But I think it's the more educated ones who are resisting.
So again, it's a lack of policy marketing. It's like so many policies are being badly communicated to the people. So we need like a proper spokesperson to give valid information and ensure the people. We are all keeping our eyes on big cities like Jakarta, like Bali, tourism destination areas. But don't forget, Indonesia is so big. And the population is so large. We've used that reasoning for a lot of things over the years, but we just got to get it done. Last point, real quickly. All the good reasons aside, in the U.S., as you've heard, they're using such things as giveaways to prompt people to get vaccinated, lotteries, free beer, even legal marijuana to go get your shot. Millie, should we do that here? I mean, why not? I think free nasi goreng coupons, shopping vouchers, movie tickets.
That's what I'm doing with our staff in the office. We give them bonus, to get vaccinated from
Really?
nasi goreng. Yes, from nasi goreng, exactly. Nasi goreng to movie tickets.
Well, maybe the government should do it.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah? I mean, for you, the word from Millie, hey, get your shot, that's enough for me if I was your staff. But perhaps we should do those promotional things. That would motivate a lot of people, don't you think, too, Sanjuna?
They should, I think, use an approach is the other way around. Now what we are hearing is that if you refuse to be vaccinated, you will be fined.
Oh, well, that people will break that rule. No, be the positive one.
Give bonuses or give incentives for those who would
lotteries. They're giving away like millions of dollars if you get your shots. You get your name in the ticket.
BTS meals.
And why not? I'd love to see that. Let's talk to the government. Our contribution. Okay, Hot Indo will continue shortly with losing FaceTime. Do some Indonesians, along with Donald Trump, deserve to be banned from social media?
Welcome to Foodiepedia. Every week in this program, I will introduce you to one of Indonesia's fabulous food items. Yummy. Beautiful. Now, I'm ready to cook. Let's go to the kitchen. It's done. Let's meet to eat.
Foodiepedia on the Indonesia Channel.
Trần Minh Ngân of VCCN Net Việt in Hanoi.
I'm Thairat Thomya of Thailand's Thairat TV in Bangkok.
I'm Monica Sambodet from the National Television of Cambodia in Phnom Penh.
I'm Raymond Goh of Malaysia's TV3 in Kuala Lumpur.
I'm Glenda Chong of Singapore's Channel News Asia.
I'm Raisa Chantami of the Indonesia channel at the ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta.
This is your weekly look into the dynamic Southeast Asia region.
ASEAN Today on the Indonesia Channel.
You are watching Hot Indonesia with Sandrina, Millie, and me. Here's hot topic number 2, losing FaceTime. Donald Trump was banned this month from Facebook and Instagram for 2 years. That was for comments the former U.S. president posted during a January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol by mostly Trump supporters. The company said the posts were serious risks to public safety and that it will no longer give politicians immunity for deceptive or abusive content. First, Millie, you are in the media business. Is it okay for this private company to ban Trump or anyone?
Well, again, please remember, Dalton, that Trump was the head of state. And as the president of the United States, he himself incited riots within the people in America. We in Indonesia, we do not have such kind of head of state. And if we ban, quote unquote, voices of, say, influencers, then there is no democracy in that.
Oh, so you're against the ban by Facebook of people like Donald Trump?
I am against. But again, Trump was the head of state. In Indonesia, we do not have a head of state of such behavior.
Yeah, you're right. Few leaders tweet their policies to the public rather than giving news conferences or formal statements. Donald Trump was a one-of-a-kind, but again, the reason was they believe that he incited some of this action that caused people to die. Yeah, on January 6th. Sandrina, are there individuals here at all who fit or come close to Trump's level in generating such social media outrage, do you think?
Yeah, as Millie just mentioned, Trump's case is incomparable. At that time, he was a president, and not only just a president of a country, it's one of the strongest country in the world. So it's fair to say that Trump was the most powerful human being on earth. Even now, after he has been replaced by Biden since early 2021, Trump will never be just a normal human being. He's a former president with influences that will not just disappear. So if he continues to tweet or post in Instagram or Facebook as he wishes, without any concern about what the contents would do towards other people. So Trump can be really, really dangerous.
So you're okay with it? You're okay with the Facebook ban?
In his hands, the social media becomes such an explosive weapon. In this context, we'll not be able to find an equal comparison to Trump in Indonesia, Dalton, to answer your question. All public figures here who use Twitter and Instagram or Facebook could be loud, could be harsh, sarcastic, or provocative, but they do not have power or authority. Usually they're just commoners who are just plain expressive. Figures who often sarcastically criticize the president or the government, like
that's
Rocky Gerung.
That's what I want to get to next. And my point on the ban on Donald Trump, it's a private company. They can do what they want. It's not like a free speech issue, right?
You asked me to be more local. If we mention people like Rocky Gerung, he has no power or authority like Trump. Same as Ade Armando, who specializes in sensitive issues with provocations that could trigger hot public debates. So Trump is a combination of recklessness, ignorance, and power. You can't find a comparison to that in Indonesia or any other country except maybe Kim Jong-un.
And plus misusing such an important platform. Trump was misusing a public platform.
Yeah, but again, it's not a public, whereas it's a government or free forum. I mean, it's a private company, and you have to sign up for it. If they ban Trump from like giving a speech in the park, then that's a free speech issue, and then I disagree with muzzling him. But anyway, let's look at this, ladies, another way. The government here, as you know, is considering a law that outlaws social media insults to the president and vice president specifically. You could get prison time and a big fine. It's been brought up before, but Millie, is this the right thing to do?
Yeah, so it's sort of like a balancing act. The head of state, like Trump, was misusing a platform. But then all the people like myself, I can also misuse that platform to, let's say, speak bad about you, for example. And
But is it a crime if you insult me and say that you have bad hair, Dalton? I don't think it's a crime.
No. But if the crime or the communication is towards the head of state, it will be a crime. I believe that, yes.
How do you define insult, though? Like, I think he's doing a bad job, or I think he's too skinny. I mean, that's the problem, I think, Sandrina, right?
Yes, there shouldn't be any gray areas, as we have seen happen so often. No clear explanation of what wrongdoing in terms of maybe expression in social media done by certain people. This gray area is really dangerous if you have laws that do not really give justice and could guard people's rights. But I agree that if it's like slander or if you humiliate the head of state, of course, it shouldn't. I mean, we shouldn't let that happen. But what are the basis? The basis for that.
It has to be defined. Yeah. You're right.
Yes.
That's a good point. Now, one last point. Nigeria went even further. It banned Twitter from its country, cutting the links to that on June 4th because the president didn't like a post that was removed by Twitter in Nigeria saying that we've got to punish separatists or whatever. Who actually then should control social media? The government, the owners, or the public? Quick answers, ladies. Sanjina, you first.
Social media is a child of democracy after democracy married digital technology. So social media can only live healthily if the parents are healthy. Democracy continues to develop and digitalization is properly placed. So there has to be a balance, and of course, it's everybody's responsibility. People who use the social media, also the government.
Millie, who should control it?
Media should be always controlled by the people, especially on such level. That's in my opinion.
Yeah, responsibly, without inciting violence and without harm to anyone else. Okay, more Hot Indo is ahead with K-pop crazy. Is this really about getting a BTS meal package?
I'm Caitlin Turner, and welcome to Yoga Bliss. Dropping your hands to the mat, just step it back and out and up to the sky. Up through your fingertips. Reach your right hand back behind your head. Let your hands separate forward and then start.
Yoga Bliss, only on the Indonesia channel.
Regina Glenda, and you are watching iPop Playlist.
Marilah berlari, hey, 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 hey. Semuanya perasaan, rasa cinta ku persembahkan untukmu di dalam lubuk hatiku. Tolong lihat aku dan jawab pertanyaanku.
Ditunggu, bagaimana dengan pacarku? Ku tak mau selingkuh
denganmu. Ku temukan cahaya hati.
iPop on the Indonesia channel.
You are watching Hot Indonesia from Jakarta. Hot topic number 3 in this program, K-pop crazy. No, these aren't motorbike delivery drivers lining up for the restroom. They're waiting to pick up the latest promotional item tied to the world's hottest group, BTS. And because of pandemic violations, 20 McDonald's outlets in the capital were ordered to close for 24 hours, with 12 others getting warnings. Now, you know, the meal itself is always on the menu. It's nuggets, fries, and a drink. It's the purple box and the packaging of the South Korean boy band that the fans want. But you know what I think? The marketing people at the fast food chain called the drivers to come in and create kind of a buzz. It's like when you open a bar, you hire Russian models to come and hang out at the front. Am I too cynical, Sandrina?
Could be. But don't forget, Dalton. Furthermore, speaking about marketing strategies of McDonald's, it's part of like an important shift in the industry of food and beverages in the last 2 decades. What they're selling now doesn't remain only now necessarily around food and beverages. It's all about lifestyle now. So, for example, if you go to a well-known coffee chain that's gone global, without mentioning the name.
Starbucks?
It's backed by people, consumers there gather, not only because of the quality of the coffee, but because the people want to be part of a certain lifestyle that's developing. Marketing gimmicks then become like means to complete that kind of lifestyle. It could involve global icons that have like hundreds of millions of fans, even billions around the world. And,
BTS is the group that you could mention their name. You have something, and anyone would benefit, right?
This also happened during the One Direction era. I mean, they even had those toothbrushes. Toothbrushes with the One Direction pictures on it, and it went
not as big as now because of social media. You know, Millie, I'm not sure if you're a K-pop fan or not, but do you know at least one BTS song? You know, I don't, and I should because I'm half Korean. What is the appeal?
Okay, as far as I know, BTS maybe stands for something bulgogi, maybe. I don't know.
Millie, you're being silly, Millie. Come on.
Silly Millie, silly Millie.
But this K-pop craze is definitely being add on or pushed by a retail marketing scheme, you know, to reach such national level mayhem. And I'm sorry, Dalton, the restaurant should be penalized so much, you know, because this is done during the height of COVID.
Yeah, well, I don't think they expected, if it is real, the crowds, I don't think they expected this kind of response. I mean, who would stand in line for a package? I mean, it's not like they're having a bulgogi burger, for example, made by BTS.
No, what you said, the marketing people must have called, you know, all the...
Well, that's my theory. I don't know if they did now. They're going to call me and complain, but I'm being the...
What if they call and complain?
They're going to call and complain to me. You made up the story. We didn't, you know.
Dalton, I mean, I saw on Instagram just last night that even Minister Erick Thohir had a whole package there. He was so happy because he managed to get one package for his daughter.
Okay, but I'm sure he didn't stand in line.
No.
I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah, okay. Move on now. Feedback time. More comments on our segment about the country's smoking habit. This one from Raina. The diehard smokers will choose a pack of cigarettes rather than a piece of chicken for dinner, and that's a sad fact. And Charita said this about our look at Indonesian artists abroad. Agnes Mo does not represent Indonesian culture, too Western. Here's how to contact us with your feedback. Email, if you still have an email address, at hotindo@theindonesiachannel.com, or comment through our Hot Indonesia channel, or TV1 Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube pages. Final words, Sandrina.
COVID-19 cases numbers have again spiked in Indonesia. The most dramatic is in the capital city of Jakarta. This is actually something that we have predicted before because of the long holidays for Idul Fitri and people going back to their hometowns. And it is now time for us to really return to the moments where we were all really vigilant, disciplined, and in adhering the health protocols completely. We have to allow ourselves to accept wholeheartedly limitations in activities or in gatherings. Vaccinations must be more vast, and we need it to be done in a faster manner. And most of all, let's not blame each other. Just stop pointing fingers at one another. We must do what we can together to put an end to this pandemic.
Final words, Millie.
I share with Sandrina here. It's very sad to see, and especially people on the grassroots level, on how they are taking COVID-19 is in such a stride in a way. So if they feel a certain symptoms, they will say, "Oh, this is nothing. I only have a little bit of pusing. This is nothing. I can just take tolak angin and all will be well." And then before they know it, 7 days or 2 weeks afterwards, they could, pass away. So this is something that is very serious, and the government and all of us in the society should work hand in hand in supporting of how to communicate the danger of COVID-19 to everyone around us.
And my final words, last October, if you remember, we talked about the street in Abu Dhabi named after President Joko Widodo to boost relations with the UAE. We have now been the subject of reciprocation, and in case you didn't know it. And so, what you must say now, if someone asks directions to get the Cikampek from Jakarta, you go like this, blah, 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 turn left, blah, 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 and then you get on the Mohammed bin Zayed toll road. Don't be surprised if you get a puzzled look, but that's what it is. That is Hot Indonesia for this week. For Sandrina Malakiano and Millie Lukito, I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta. Thank you for watching. Please join us again next time.